She tried to end my dreams, now she lives in the shadow of my glorious victory. Some people don't break you because they're powerful. They break you because they are terrified that one day, you will discover your own. And the woman who tried to destroy my dreams wasn't a stranger, wasn't a rival, wasn't even an enemy at first. She was my mentor. My guide. The woman whose approval I once believed I needed more than air itself. But today? She watches me from the sidelines of an empire she never thought I could build. Every headline, every award, every achievement I earn, casts a shadow so big that she has no choice but to live under it. And she knows it. God, she knows it. My journey didn't start in luxury. It started in a cramped studio apartment in Chicago, where the heater made more noise than heat, and the windows let in the kind of wind that stung your bones. My dream was simple but enormous, to create a global arts foundation that would fund young creators whose talent was bigger than their financial circumstances. I knew what it was like to dream with empty pockets. I wanted to build something that could change lives. But dreams, big dreams, make you a target. I met her during my internship at a prestigious design firm. Her name was Cassandra Cole. People called her the Ice Queen of creative strategy. I called her my North Star. She was brilliant, elegant, and terrifyingly composed. She walked like the world belonged to her and spoke like she'd invented half of it. Everyone wanted her validation. Everyone feared her disappointment. And to my shock, she chose me. "You have potential," she said once, her voice low and measured. "Don't waste it by thinking small." Her praise was a rare jewel. And I guarded it like treasure. But I didn't understand the truth then. She didn't want to lift me. She wanted to own me. One evening, after everyone had left, she called me into her office. The lights were dim, city skyline glowing behind her like a crown. "Quinn," she said, tapping my portfolio. "What is this?" "My project proposal for the foundation," I answered proudly. She stared at me with a slow, icy smile. "Ambitious. Naive. Impossible." My heart dropped. "You don't think it can work?" "Oh, it can work," she replied, crossing her legs. "But not for you." My chest tightened. "Why not?" "Because you're not ready. Because you don't have the connections. Because you're thinking like a girl who grew up in a studio apartment, not like someone who understands power." Her words sliced through me, but I still nodded. Still obeyed. Still shrank. I didn't know then that this was the first cut of many. Over the next 2 years, she shaped me with precision, compliments that felt like favors, criticisms that felt like commandments. She pushed me harder than anyone ever had, and I mistook the pressure for mentorship. I mistook her dominance for guidance. I mistook her manipulation for wisdom. But the real betrayal hadn't happened yet. That moment came on a Tuesday afternoon, the day my life cracked open. The firm was preparing for a major pitch. I had spent 3 straight weeks building the concept, designing the visuals, writing the script. My fingerprints were on every detail. This pitch was my breakthrough. But when Cassandra walked into the boardroom, she didn't invite me to present. She took my work, placed it on the table before a room full of executives, and said, "This is my vision." I felt the world tilt. My heartbeat roared in my ears. I waited for her to acknowledge me. Give me a nod. A mention. Something. Nothing. She didn't just steal my work. She erased my existence. After the presentation, one that earned her a standing ovation, I confronted her. "You took everything I created," I whispered, shaking. She didn't blink. "And? It was mine." "It's only yours if you protect it. Quinn, you're talented, but you're soft. If a single stolen pitch breaks you, then you were never meant for this field. Consider it a lesson." "A lesson?" "Yes," she said coldly. "Next time, be stronger." I quit that night. Not because I was weak. But because I finally saw the truth. She didn't want to guide me. She wanted to keep me beneath her heel. For weeks, I spiraled. I questioned everything, my talent, my vision, my worth. Cassandra wasn't just a mentor. She had been my anchor. Without her, I felt like I was drifting into darkness. But darkness has a funny way of revealing sparks. One night, as I sat staring at my old rejected foundation proposal, something shifted inside me. I whispered out loud, for the first time, I don't need her. The words felt foreign. Then powerful. Then real. I picked up my savings, all $4,200 of them, and I built the first version of my dream, a tiny online platform called Rising Canvas. A space where young creators could showcase their art for free. I had no staff, no marketing budget, no support. Just passion and insomnia. The site was rough, glitchy, and barely held together, kind of like me. But one day, a teenager from Brazil uploaded a painting. Then a poet from Ghana. Then a sculptor from Turkey. Within 2 months, Rising Canvas had 10,000 users. Within 6 months, 100,000. I started hosting virtual workshops, connecting creators with mentors, building partnerships with small brands willing to sponsor young artists. Every night, I worked until my vision blurred. Every morning, I woke with new fire. And then, something wild happened. A billionaire art collector named Evelyn Grant discovered Rising Canvas through her niece. She reached out to me personally. "Your platform is revolutionary," she said during our first meeting at a rooftop restaurant I could barely afford to breathe in. "How would you feel about scaling it globally?" My hand shook under the table. I'd love to. "Good," she smiled. "Because I want to fund your foundation." My foundation. The one Cassandra said I could never build. The one she mocked. The one she tried to kill. Within a year, the Quinn Aurora Foundation launched across 5 countries. We offered grants, scholarships, global exhibitions, artist residencies, and professional mentorship programs. Newspapers called us the future of global creative equity. Students called us a miracle. Parents called us hope. And Cassandra? She called me. Of course she did. She left a voice message. "Quinn, congratulations. I always knew you had it in you. I'd love to meet. Maybe collaborate. Call me back." I didn't. 6 months later, fate wrote a poetic twist. I was invited to speak at the Chicago Innovators Gala, one of the biggest events in the city. Thousands of attendees. Cameras everywhere. A giant stage. And guess who was sitting in the front row? Cassandra Cole. She had aged, not physically, but spiritually. Her confidence wasn't sharp anymore. It was brittle. Her eyes, once blazing with dominance, now flickered with something else. Regret. When I stepped onto that stage, wearing a white satin gown and diamonds gifted by artists I had supported, the room fell silent. I took a breath and began. There was a time someone told me I wasn't ready. That I didn't have connections. That my dreams were too big for a girl like me. And for a while, I believed her. I shrank myself to fit her expectations. Cassandra's eyes widened. But then I realized something. People who try to break your dreams aren't warning you. They're confessing their own limitations. A stir swept across the room. They didn't believe in me? Fine. I believed in me. They tried to stop me? Good. I kept going. They tried to end my dreams? Perfect. I made them stronger. The audience erupted in applause. Cassandra bowed her head. After the event, she approached me. Her voice was soft, almost trembling. "Quinn. I'm proud of you." "Thank you," I replied politely. Do you think we could work together again someday?" Her question hung in the air like smoke. I smiled. A gentle, unbothered, utterly victorious smile. "No, Cassandra. That chapter is over. But, you didn't believe in me when it mattered." Now that I built something on my own, you want a piece of it. But I didn't build this empire for people who tried to break me. Her face paled. I never wanted to break you. No, I said softly. You wanted me small. And now that I'm not, you don't know what to do. She blinked rapidly, swallowing hard. I'm sorry. I know, I replied. But your apology doesn't change the truth. You taught me a lot. Just not the lessons you intended. What lessons? That mentorship isn't about control. Power isn't about stealing credit. Strength isn't about instilling fear. And dreams aren't things you give permission for. Dreams are things you fight for. I stepped back, looked her in the eyes, and delivered the final blow. And now, Cassandra, you will watch my success from the shadows. The way I once watched you from the sidelines. That's not revenge. That's balance. I walked away. Not because she deserved it. But because I had outgrown her. Today, the Queen Aurora Foundation spans 18 countries. Our exhibitions feature artists who were once ignored, dismissed, mocked, just like I was. And every time I stand in front of a crowd, every time I see a young creator finally being seen, I think about that moment in her office. You're thinking small, she had said. No. I was thinking beyond her imagination. And now? She lives in the shadow of my glorious victory.